if you think your dating life is bad, let me tell you a story. Okay, let me tell you a story. See that back there? That's a suitcase. On Monday, I drove 3.5 hours to go visit a guy because he's in the Army and he just never could come visit me. Whatever. So I drive out there to go spend time with him and be close that I can see him every day for 5 days. I come over, he makes me dinner the first night, burnt the dinner to a crisp. Nothing against it. Most men can't cook. Not surprised. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make dinner tomorrow night. So tomorrow, the next day, I just go drive around and I go grocery shopping and I get like $30 worth of groceries to make like a chicken garlic parm dinner. I go back to his place. For 2 hours, I am cooking so that the house smells good when he gets home and that he has something hot and ready to eat when he gets home. So I make this dinner. I prepare it in the oven. He doesn't want to eat when he gets home right away, which, like, whatever. He's like, I'm going to go work out and then I'm going to eat. And I was like, cool. So he goes and works out. He comes out and we eat dinner. Does not say thank you for cooking the food. He does not say thank you for buying the food. And he doesn't even really compliment. He was just like, at the end, it was like, oh, it was good. That was it. And so then I do the dishes and I clean up. He kind of piddles in there a little bit and like dries and puts away the dishes. And I was like, okay, well, maybe he had a long day at work. You know what? I have no idea. He's in the Army. Who knows? Who knows what kind of day he had? So I was like, okay, I'll try again tomorrow. So the next day I go out and I get more groceries. I buy the groceries. I go back and I make dinner. He comes home a little early and he goes straight to his bedroom. Straight to his bedroom. And I'm like, okay. So I wait an hour and a half and I'm like, well, he's still not out here. So I'm going to make dinner and eat because I'm hungry. And it's like 6:30 at the time. And I was like, okay, I'm making dinner. So I make a quesadilla for me. I make extra and put it in the microwave for him. He comes out like 45 minutes later after I finish eating. I've already washed my dish and put it away. And I'm just sitting on the couch talking to a friend. He literally, I was like, hey, dinner, I made dinner, it's in the microwave for you. And he was like, cool. Goes in, grabs it, literally walks right back to his bedroom. Right back to his bedroom and sits in there and eats the quesadillas that I made by himself. And I know I'm really worked up about it because right now it is 10:30 at night and I am going home a day early because I'm not doing this. I'm going to be home at 1 a.m. I don't care. So he comes back out and I was like, so what'd you think of it? And he was like, it was good. Tasted like an actual quesadilla. It tasted like an actual quesadilla because it was an actual quesadilla, okay? It was an actual quesadilla. I was like, okay, whatever. It's fine. I'm not making dinner tomorrow night. I'm just not doing it. I'm not spending more money on this ungrateful man. So he comes back from work and he's like, hey, what you been doing? You just been chilling today? I'm like, yep, just been chilling. Calling people back home, they're checking in on me, whatever. And he was like, okay, I didn't know if you made dinner or anything. I'm like, I made dinner. No, I did not. So I was like, do you want to watch a movie tonight? And he was like, well, I think I'm going to just work out and make some dinner. And I was like, okay, cool. So he works out, he burns something in the kitchen for dinner. And I'm literally like waiting to see if he's done and we can watch a movie. Goes back to his bedroom like a troll, like a hermit. And so I go and I sit on the couch and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch a movie. So I walk out there to go sit on the couch and select a movie. And I hear this man in his bedroom talking to another woman. And I literally have the receipts on this, but he's literally in his bedroom playing a game, talking to another woman. And like the first night that I came over, he was like, I'm going to go back and play my game. And I'm like, I wonder if he's just been talking to this chick the whole time. So I was like, I was on the phone with my friend. I said, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm going to just make up some crappy story and I'm leaving. So I packed up all my stuff. I put it by the door and I knocked on his door and I hear him, oh, hold on a second. Somebody's knocking at my door. I'm going to hang up and I'll call you back. I'm like, somebody's me, that person that drove 3.5 hours and took time off work where she could have been earning money to spend time with you. Yeah, that's that someone. So he opens the door and I'm like, hey, my mom's having a medical emergency. She's in the ER. I gotta go home. Total lie. Super fabricated. I mean, I really should have just told him straight up that I think you're boring. I think you have no manners. And why are you talking to another girl in your bedroom? Like, while one is sitting on the couch, literally in your own home. So yeah, I am currently driving home. I am set to arrive at around 1:30 a.m. back in Mississippi. I'm so sick of dating. I'm so sick of dating because I don't know what it is about me, but I just attract the douchiest men. Like, the douchiest men. And this is terrible. At least I have enough self-worth, I think, to leave. I'm not going to stick around. But, like, at the same time, why does this keep happening? What did I do? What did I do wrong? I was never messy. I cleaned his house while he was at work. I swept the floors. I cleaned the kitchen. I cleaned the plastic he burnt off his stove the night before. I cleaned his bathroom. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, I might be doing too much, honestly. I might be doing too much. It's not that I'm not doing enough. But, like, I'm a traditional kind of gal. Like, you open the door for me. You carry my bags. Like, you say thank you if I cook for you. You should want to spend time with me. Otherwise, I don't know why we're even considering dating. Like, this is just, it's bad. It's bad. Anyways, that's my rant. So if you think your dating life sucks, mine's probably worse. It's not that bad because I always get out of it, but, like, this keeps happening. And this one is the worst because I actually drove here. He would not even come to visit me. He would not come to visit me first. And I drove here. I spent my gas. I spent my money on groceries. I spent my time cooking and cleaning. And yeah, this is what it has amounted to. So I blocked him, so he's hopefully not going to see this video. But if he does, dude, you got to step up your game because you suck. You are boring. You're so boring. And you need some serious manners, and I don't think you're ready to date because I don't think you know how to treat a woman, or you're just a player and a cheater. So, yeah, I'm disgusted with dating. So the next guy that takes me on a date better impress me, or I might be an old hag that lives by herself with her farm animals. I'm just like, ah! I was literally shaking when I knocked on his door and I was picking up my bag sleeve because I was, like, so upset. I was like, this is bad. This is bad. So, yeah. That is my fun story. I wish it was fake, but I don't even think I have the creative juices to create something like that in my head. But yeah, dating sucks.
Story time about how I found out that I was being cheated on. First of all, please be nice because I never post stuff like this, but honestly, it was so entertaining and I literally laugh about it now, so I feel like I should share. So for context, I started seeing this guy in October, and by January we were dating, and we were only dating for 2 weeks before I found this all out. So thankfully I found out early and got myself the hell out of there. But anyways, let's get into it. So the day that this all went down, I had clinical that day because I'm in nursing school, and he was supposed to be coming over to my house after I finished clinical. So of course I text him when I get out of clinical, and I'm like, hey, just let me know like whenever you're gonna come over. So long story short, I get home, I don't hear from him for like 3 hours, and I'm like, what's going on? I check his location and I see that he's out to dinner. So I text him again and I'm like, hey, like, are you still coming over tonight? So after a little while, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call him because maybe he's not checking his phone, and like I want to know if he's coming over because at this point it was like 9 or 10 o'clock. And he was supposed to be sleeping over, mind you. So I call him, and much to my surprise, a girl answers the phone. Perfect. She says, hello. I said, hello? She said, who is this? I said, we're gonna call him Chad. This is Chad's girlfriend. Who is this? She hangs up the phone. And I'm not exaggerating, like that is how that girl talked. And she literally sounded like she was no older than 19 or 20. And keep that in mind because that's important. Mind you, my boyfriend was 26. And normally I would literally never be mad at the girl in this situation because obviously like if she didn't know that he had a boyfriend, like that's not her fault, but just wait. So anyways, after that happens, I naturally call him back 30 times, you know, as any sane woman would do. And he doesn't answer. I'm like looking at his location, he's like driving somewhere, and then he ends up at a house. Long story short, he ends up driving back home, and once he's home, that's when he calls me back. And obviously, I'm like, where were you? What is going on? Why did a girl answer your phone? Like, what is happening? When I tell you this man answered the phone so nonchalantly, like absolutely nothing was wrong. Like, hey babe, what's up? So he answers, he tells me, oh my god, I'm so sorry. We ended up going to my friend's bachelor party, which I honestly didn't think anything of because he told me that his friend's bachelor party was this weekend and he didn't know if he was gonna go or not. So he says, yeah, we ended up going. Everything just got so out of hand. Like, I got so drunk, I had to leave my car in the parking lot of the restaurant. Mind you, this man is like slurring his words, like sounds very, very intoxicated. But in my mind, I was like, it almost sounds like he's like faking being drunk. And then he says that his friend, we'll call him Justin had to drive him home with Justin's girlfriend. And he says that Justin's girlfriend is the one who answered his phone when I called. Remember when I told you that the girl that answered sounded like she was 19? Yeah, well, Justin's girlfriend is 27. So I was like, that's not adding up. Like, that girl did not sound like she was 27. And like, you could so tell that this girl was young. So he says, babe, to reassure you, let me get Justin on the phone so that he can tell you. Mind you, I have met Justin before. So Justin gets on the phone and he's like, hey, what's going on? Chad, my boyfriend at the time, is like, oh, like, can you just tell Ella that, like, we were together, like, she's confused and she doesn't believe that your girlfriend's the one who answered the phone. Justin sold the story so well, like, I had no reason to believe that he was lying. And Justin's telling me, oh my god, all Chad can do is talk about you, like, he likes you so much, you have nothing to worry about. And Justin says, oh, and I've heard you make amazing banana bread. And mind you, my contact in his phone was Ella Banana Bread. And that was just like an inside joke, like, it's whatever. But that was my contact name in his phone. Remember that. Anyways, him and I worked things out. We're like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna go to bed. Like, I will see you tomorrow. And this is where things start to get interesting. The next morning, I wake up at 6 a.m. with a text from this girl. And it is a screenshot from a very specific Facebook page that if you know what it is, you know what it is. And the girl's like, hey, isn't this your boyfriend? And guess who it was? It was Chad. So, the girl that he went on a date with the night before, because yes, he was on a date, he was not in the car with his friend and his girlfriend, she posted on this Facebook page and said, went on a date with this guy last night and some girl named Ella Banana Bread was blowing up his phone the whole night while I was making out with him. And at this point, I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. So I quickly get on Facebook. I was not in this group at the time, but I was like, I have to get into this group and see this thread that's going on. Long story short, after messaging like 10 of the admins, I finally get admitted to the group. And when I tell you, the thread that this girl had posted had like over 200 comments in it. Some of the comments were like hating on this girl for doing that because like, why were you continuing to make out with a guy when you had a feeling that he had a girlfriend? And the other comments were from other women saying, oh my gosh, I've had experiences with this guy. Saying, yeah, he was hitting me up to come over to his house this week. Like, all sorts of stuff. It was crazy. And all the comments are like, where's Ella Banana Bread? We gotta find Ella Banana Bread. So I comment on it and I say, hey guys, Ella Banana Bread here. This man was my boyfriend as of last night. He is no longer. And after I commented on that, I start getting DMs from girls, like multiple girls saying, hey, like he was at my house or he was hitting me up this week. He told me he loved me this week. I'm sorry, what? So anyways, now that I have this all confirmed, I'm like, okay, it's time to plot. It is time to plot. And unfortunately, someone tipped him off that I had seen the Facebook post, so I wasn't able to plot. Very sad. And I go to look at his location and I see that he has unshared it with me. So I'm like, okay, he knows that I know. So at this point, I was like, you know what? I just want to get all my feelings out and say everything that I want to say. Mind you, for context, this man literally begged me to be his girlfriend. Begged me. Like, he had to ask me multiple times. I said no multiple times. And then finally, I was like, okay, like, whatever, fine. So I'm like, why did you beg to be my boyfriend just to cheat on me? It's not making sense. Anyways, so I call him, I go off on him. There was like another piece of the story that I cannot share, but it was really, really bad and I had to call him and like talk to him about it. So yeah, that's basically the story of how I found out I was being cheated on, and honestly, like, it's funny. It's funny. Especially because I was like not super invested in the first place. Like, it's genuinely just funny because what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Anyways, I say this all because as a woman, you should absolutely always trust your gut. Like, we literally have a sixth sense that is like our intuition, and it tells us when things are off. And I knew from the absolute moment that I met this man that there was something off with him, and I continued on and I ignored it so many times. And this just all could have been avoided if I had just listened to my gut.
I am not one to get involved in people's business, unless, of course, your fiance is a cheating slimeball and you won't answer any of my DMs, and this man deserves to be caught. If your fiance sings at Jason Aldean's and Miranda's in Nashville, you might want to sit down for this story. A couple months ago, me and my friend walk into a bar and she sees this guy singing. She thought he was so cute, so she got his number and they started going out. Personally, I thought this guy was pretty mid. Turns out I was right. They're about 2.5 months in, and he asked if they can be exclusive, boyfriend-girlfriend stuff. She told him no because she felt like there was something off there. A few weeks pass, and this guy starts acting so weird. She's like, hey, I'll meet you at your house, and he just starts yelling at her. How dare you come to my house when you're talking to other men? Rah, 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 rah. Now, my friend wasn't even talking to other boys. She just had a bad feeling. The straw that broke the camel's back was when she surprised him at one of his shows. Sends her a text in all bold, why the F didn't you tell me you were coming? She dumps him and he blocks her on literally everything. But guess who he forgot to block? 2 weeks later, right there on his Instagram, we're engaged! Yeah, he proposed to his girlfriend of 5 years. I am so sorry that you had to hear this way. Please reach out to me. Like, seriously, I love you. Love you.
I found out that my fiance was cheating on me right in the middle of his proposal to me. Like, literally as it was happening. Now, I was madly in love with this man. I was head over heels, would do whatever he said. If he said jump, I would say how high. At the time, we had been dating for about 2 years, maybe a little bit under 2 years. And the fact that he was even proposing was a shock to me because even though that I was madly in love with him, I didn't quite feel that we were ready for it. But one day, he just decided to surprise me, took me to Orlando for a little bit of fun at the amusement parks because, you know, I like to get down like that with some childish, lighthearted fun. So once we got to the amusement park, he decides to sign up to be a contestant on one of the competition games performances that they had at this theme park. So right before the show is about to start and he's about to start to compete, he hands me over his cell phone and says, babe, please film this. I want you to see what's going to happen. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. How much fun. Like, this is my dream come true. Competition starts. There was like 3 or 4 events that he had to compete with others to win. And ultimately, he won. But remember, I'm filming, right? And I'm filming from his cell phone that he told me to hold. So here I am with his little cell phone filming, all excited, all proud of my man. He starts to receive text messages that are popping up on the screen. The text messages turned out to be from his mistress that he's been messing with the whole time we are together. And she's pissed. She's really pissed. I guess that morning he had texted her to let her know, like, hey, it's over between us because I'm about to get engaged today. And she threw a shit fit, even though she herself was married. So at this point, my heart absolutely drops and like I want to vomit. And I'm sitting here in a crowd with hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people, trying to keep my hands steady and filming what's happening as he's proposing and announcing it to this whole freaking stadium full of people. But I really know what's happening as I'm seeing these texts flash across the screen. Trauma. Deep breaths, Tiffany. Deep breaths. Now listen, I am not the type of girl that likes it when people see me sweat. I keep my cool. I just smile and I pretend that I'm the just most elated, happiest woman on the planet. So since this proposal has been blasted all over the big screen, that everyone around me is so excited for me, they're congratulating me, and I'm just like in shock and awe. I somehow managed to keep my composure and to just walk outside of the stadium and wait for him outside. Once he shows up, he immediately gives me a huge hug, tells me that he loves me, and of course, does the proposal again to my face this time, not just on the big screen. There's so many people watching. Remember, we're in the middle of a theme park with thousands of people. So I quickly grab him and drag him into the nearest restaurant in this theme park that I could find. And I bring him over to the bar area and I sit him down and I tell him everything that I know. He didn't try to deny it. He knew that he was caught. And for the next 30 minutes, he proceeded to just tell me everything that he thought that I wanted to hear. And I was just numb. The only words that I could manage to muster up at this point were, baby, this 2-carat diamond ring, it's just not going to be enough.
He wants to hear the story about the guy that I was seeing who was also seeing his sister. I meet this guy on Hinge, okay? He's gorgeous. Like, he looks just like Leo from Tell Me Lies, okay? Gorgeous. So he drives 2 hours to take me on our first date. And we had been talking for a couple weeks at this point. And this is right before or right after my divorce. So, like, I would never do this now. I would never do this now. But I was like, okay, like, why don't you just, like, stay the night after our date? Girl, be so real. Do you think that's a good idea? No. I'll call him Tony. That's not his name. I was like, I opened my door, I said, Tony. And he looks up and starts skipping stairs to get to me. And he gives me a big hug and he has flowers. He was like, I'm so excited to like actually see you. And I was like, me too. I was like, I'm finishing getting ready, like come in, whatever. He takes me to dinner. He has a really nice car. He takes me to a very nice restaurant. I'm like, okay, this guy has his life together. He had gotten out of the military. I won't say which branch. And he was getting his master's. So I was like, his life is like put together. I'm obsessed. And the conversation is so good. And he's so interested about my interests, which is like not typical. A lot of people just don't want to talk about neuroplasticity and how cool it is. That's like one of my biggest interests. He was clocked in. He was ready, okay? He was applying for the job to be my boyfriend. And he's telling me about him, and he grew up on a farm in a southern state, and he was homeschooled. But like not the type of homeschool where you're with other kids, the type of homeschool that it's just you and your siblings, okay? And he has a sister who is like a year younger, 2 years younger. Anyways, so we finished the first date. He stays over. He's already texted me about our next date. He's excited. He's like really into it. So he says, why don't you come by me, which is by like Eastern, like ECU. I think that was the school he was getting his master's at. And he was like, we'll do like some fun mini golf. I'll take you to this hot dog place because he knows I love hot dogs. I love hot dogs. Leading up to the date, I was feeling like sketched out for whatever reason. For really no reason. He was great. But my like intuition was like, ooh, this is not good. But my heart was like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up. Ugh. Having fun, living life, he's hot. At the same time, there was a documentary about that guy. I can't think of his name right now, but he was in Call Me By Your Name. And there was a documentary about, like, all the girls that he had, like, essayed. And, like, for whatever reason, I was getting the same vibe. And I was also getting the same vibe of, like, maybe he was going to eat me at some point. And I can't explain why. He never like gave me any reason to believe that he was going to eat me. But I started to really, really hone in on the fact that he was going to like hurt me somehow. So we go on the date. Date is so fun. But then at dinner, after mini golf, he was like, you know what? You look just like my cousin. And I was like, oh my gosh. Huh. And he was like, I mean, she's hot. I'm like, oh. Okay. He showed me a picture. I look identical. And then he's telling me how hot I am the rest of the night. And I'm thinking, oh, this guy wants to fuck his cousin. This is what this is. He wants to fuck his cousin. So we go back. He gets a hotel because he has a roommate because he's in school. He brings out things. Things that I don't want. Wait, who are you doing that with? Because it ain't me. Like, dangerous things. Like for the bedroom, I was like, this isn't like, no. We started having like pillow talk, okay? We're getting really deep into conversation. And he reveals to me that when he was in like 3rd grade, him and his sister got really curious. I'm gonna throw up. Girl. And I was like, huh? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And he like really gets into detail of what they did from 3rd grade to a couple of years ago. They were having a full-blown relationship. In that in just that one way. Okay? I really hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down, okay? Him and his sister had relations for years. And I'm fawning at this point because I'm like, I'm actually in danger. This is not good. I've been drinking. I can't drive home 2 hours. And so I become a therapist. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that probably really affected you, you know, throughout your whole childhood. Like, do you think that's like brought into your adult like your life? Like I'm trying to be a therapist, you know, and try to make him feel comfortable to just like keep talking. But I'm like, I really don't want to hear it, but what am I gonna do? I gotta know where to go. So he tells me everything until we fall asleep. I'm driving home, he's calling me, and he's just like, I had so much fun, like, I love getting to know you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, me too, so much fun. But I was like, you know what, it feels like you don't really have a relationship with God, so, like, I need that. And he was like, well, I also need someone that I can... But, like... I said, yeah, and he's like, yeah, you just didn't seem into, like, all the things that I was into. Yeah, because I'm not. Because most people aren't. I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum, but, like, yuck. Yucky. Yeah. No. Just because they look like Leo does not mean you should date them. No. Ugh. I'm so, like, honestly, this is embarrassing for me to tell. I've waited 2 years to tell this story. Because every time I try to, I'm like, oh, this looks bad for me. Like, ugh. Well, let me know if you have any questions.